Rustic charm, $900 a month. Cozy, rustic charm, utilities not included.
It's literally a tool shed.
But look at the natural ventilation.
This one's a steal at $19,000. Was it driven by Beyonce? Due to inflation, please see cashier for toilet paper access. 1 cheeseburger and a small fries.
That'll be $24.50.
This is supposed to be fast food, not fine dining.
$3,000 a month, utilities included. That will be $35. All I got was bananas.
How much is this one?
That one is discounted already to $70,000.
Yeah, it's the base model with cloth seats and roll-up windows.
See, this is why they can't afford a home.
That'll be $28.
$28 for one beer?
You need a separate subscription for each episode. I just wanted to watch one show, not take out a mortgage.
$900 a month. Cozy, rustic charm.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Yakarkadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there onto the Zypharnus from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's supposed to be a parody, but obviously it's not a parody. The best part about it was when the old people.
All I got was bananas.
How much is this one?
Not this
That one
one.
is discounted already to $70,000.
Yeah, it's the base model with cloth seats and roll-up windows.
See, this is why they can't afford a home.
That part was funny because you have a generation. I grew up with the what do they call it? The baby boomers, and you know everybody that's successful. Like I always state, my father, people in my father's age, they got to retire. You know, they did their thing, they worked, they got to retire. But my generation, we're screwed. So it's kind of a funny parable. Obviously is a parody, but it's funny with a lot of truth to it because this is the state that everything is going to. Everything is getting out of whack. All right, everything is just not as it once was. Things are changing for the worse. See, this is why they have all the distractions after distractions after distractions. And one of the main distractions took place was it last Thursday? I don't know. Whatever day, on the 10th. And everybody's upset, all the emotions. How can you talk about this guy, this, that, to the third? Well, let me tell you something. Does that negate your rent from going up? Your car payments too high? Does that negate the fact that people getting laid off right and left? Does that negate all these things? You know, yeah, somebody, you know, got their jugular ripped open. You know, leakage in aisle 6, but it is not going to change. It's not going to change the dynamics that's taking place for every single American citizen out there, and that's a true fact. One of the elders has sent a video about the whole car loan thing and how dealerships are just all of a sudden going it's going sky high for things that's not even worth it. That's one industry where something devalues throughout time, but yet it's still expensive. And when the guy said about 70,000, like this one right here, this is still 19,000. Yeah, that's literally happened right now. So everything that's happening is happening right now because why are we entering a new world order? We're entering the phase of things is completely changed, and we went from. Matter of fact, I have to get this one first. We went from one point where everything was looking good to another point where things are not looking so good. Second Ezra 16 and 8:21. Behold, the victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth. So we passed that stage when the dollar had strength, when the dollar was strong, you know, when the dollar was king, and everything that you got was of value. Now the dollar ain't shit. It's literally nothing. Okay, you go to the store, you spending like 200-300, and you look back at it like, yo, what did I spend my money on? Oh, and the shout out to that brother Rapar. Yeah, I sent a video a while back where everything that you're paying, how they changed the measurement. Oh, that's the other scripture too. Yeah, but everything that you change, let me get that real quick. Everything is changing how you purchase something. In other words, when you think you're getting X amount, you're not getting that. I believe it's Ezekiel 4:9. Hold on. Yep, that's the one. Let me give up. It says Ezekiel 4:9. It says, "Take thou also unto the wheat and barley and beans and lentils." The shell supposed to go up a bit. It is a siege, right? They siege in your pockets. But take thou also unto thee wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, fetch, and put them in one vessel, and make the bread, or the Ezekiel bread. Hold on, that's not the one I was looking for. I think it's probably the fifth. Salaki, I haven't read this in a while. Stats as well. No. It has to be in that fourth chapter. No, it's not the third chapter. Hold on. Salakia. Let me see what's the keyword. What's the keyword? Measure. Measure is a keyword. Let's see if we got 116, right? It says, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of the bread of Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure with astonishment. Basically, you're not going to get, yeah, it was the same chapter. You're not going to get the same amount that you're supposed to get. In other words, you're not going to be satisfied. It says that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. Because he was talking about, so they're talking about the Ezekiel bread, 4:9. Then that, or the bread that we eat is shit, made out of shit, basically. And food that you're getting is not going to be according. Revelation, it's in my tip of my head. What? Revelation 6, Salakia 6:6. It says, and I heard another voice in the midst of the four beasts say, measure of wheat for a penny. So a day's wages. That's what that whole parody video was all about. It's about a day's wage or more to get something that is not the worth. So imagine you work one day, and that one day that you work, you're getting paid for that one day, and that's everything for breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's all you work for. You didn't work to pay your rent. You didn't work for none of that. That's what's happening right now. Everything is astronomical. Now the parody of the whole McDonald's shit, that is true. Damn near I don't eat McDonald's. I never shit, it's been fucking years, even before the truth. But when I do the Uber Eats and to see uh how much for a fucking meal, damn near 15, 16, $18, yo, for a regular meal. All right. And that's just McDonald's. So when that wasn't even far fetched. So 24 is not far fetched. I remember I was doing shopping for a customer, doing food shopping for a customer, going to the grocery store, and I went food shopping. I did the measurement for some grapes, seedless grapes, might I add. Do you know that seedless grapes came up to like $25? I don't even. I forgot how much pounds it was. And the person who texted me like, "Yo, this thing is like $25." Or I said 25 or 35, some crazy shit like that for some grapes. So these things are not far fetched. We right there. We're right there. So they can make the parody all they want, but it's reality that's just hitting. All right. Inflation is real. This is what they call it, inflation. What they're trying to prove is hyperinflation. You're gonna be paying hundreds of dollars just for a fucking meal. Okay. This is why they cheapen the ingredients. This is why they cheapen the measurement of the size of the food that you're getting. Once was an X amount, a gallon of something, you're gonna get less than a gallon of the same product for what do you think you're getting a cheaper price, but it's not. It's happening right now. It says a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny. And and see that hurt not the oil and the wine. The oil and the wine is what the reference of the understanding, the truth. All right. So the truth, brothers that have this truth, we're gonna be fine because we know this is all part of the prophecies. Let me go back to this real quick. Second Ezra 16 and 21. So we passed this stage, but it's gonna get into it. It says, "Behold, the victual shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they should think themselves to be in a good case." So everybody, there was a point where everything was somewhat booming. Before the pandemic, there was a lot of stores, a lot of mega stores that was going. And then what they did, the pandemic did. So what they do with these distractions, they eliminate a lot of things that they want to do. They was already going to fire or lay off a lot of people. So they use other things to in order to hide what they're doing. All right. It says, "Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." And that's what happened during the pandemic. I recall the UN that was already crying about famine. All right, the UN was already speaking about a famine, and there was no sort of famine indication whatsoever because there was the whole thing was about the plague. They was talking about worldwide famine. So these devils out there really literally like that film Resident Evil, they're literally creating their own apocalypse, which them not knowing the Lord is using them to do these things. It says famine and great confusion, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So there is going to be a famine. This the way things are going, the way things are, people are going to lose everything that they have, all their possessions. Isaiah 24, I start at 1. "Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste." So this is the prophecy. What's going to cause the earth to be emptied and wasted? Those ICBM nuclear missiles. So is the whole planet Earth going to be empty? No. The majority of people are going to die because of the nuclear winter. America is going to be completely destroyed, being annihilated. All right, and key on that land of Israel, but it's going to rock the world. It's going to change the whole dynamic They're gonna be new global maps because America's just gonna be a dot. All right. It said, turneth it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. So people that are accustomed of dwelling in one land, they're gonna have to get away from certain areas because of the nuclear winter, the bitter waters. All right. The sun is gonna be blotted out because of this. There's gonna be a giant earthquake. Land mass is gonna be changed because of this. But that's the future prophecy. But before this happens, it shall come, it shall be, and it shall be as with the people, with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury. Basically, everybody's going to be in one accord. People are going to lose everything they have. This is why they Baldy said, Dr. No, I like to call him, but Carl Schwab, you shall own nothing and love it. Everybody's going to be equal in that day. You want to talk about equal opportunity, equal this, equal that? This is it. This entire system going to be completely destroyed. People, they already citing civil war. All right, they're already citing civil war. He already planning to send National Guards to cities. Oh damn! I'm watching the game and they have a McDonald's commercial. All right, they have a McDonald's commercial. Big Mac meal for $8, bro. I remember Big Macs. A Big Mac meal was like three something. Three like the most back in the days like maybe $2.99. No, $2.99, $3.99. They're talking about $8. And you mean to tell me we're in a good place right now? It's over. It's over. It's over. And they just settle these things and have you think that these are the great prices for living. And it's absolutely not the great prices at all. And this is just I'm just watching a game and they have a McDonald's commercial. I don't even know how you consider that a fucking sell. A Big Mac, I remember when I was young, Big Mac, fries, and a large drink, maybe like $3.99, maybe less. All right. And that was kind of expensive back then. So now they said a Big Mac meal, $8. That's supposed to be good. And that's the McDonald's staple. And McDonald's is garbage. You eat that's human food right there. That's you literally eat. So they feeding people. Hold on. This is how much of a devil this devil is. You're feeding people, and you hiking up the price. So you're destroying people's inside and outside, and you making them pay more. Damn, bro. This if this man is not the devil, I don't know what to say. All right, this man has polluted. Oh man, it says this is why he's gonna be taken out. This is why Esau is gonna be taken out. The same chapter. I'm just gonna jump. I don't want to make this too long. Isaiah 24 and 20. Let me get to the point. 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high. Because the high ones that are on high, they're the ones that's doing it. This is why you have Bill Gates buying off the majority of the farmland, which the news don't talk about that much, and forcing the people to eat what? Bugs. So they're putting bugs in your food. So you can imagine going to McDonald's. If any people, I don't know how people still do that, but going to McDonald's and they eating not only maybe eating a baby or somebody, they add a little couple roaches in there and shit like that. I mean, this shit is getting diabolical. This is a diabolical planning that's being taken place right now. This is some evil works right here. This is why the Lord is going to destroy the hosts on high. Because people don't want certain things. If you are over majority of people, the people is going to follow whatever you say to do. That's a position of leadership. So them cooking up the books and playing the background in the shadows, and then all the vile things that they do in the dark, they want to put it on the people. It's vile. It's wicked. All right. It's straight up wicked. So the Lord's going to punish the hosts and high ones because misleading the people. And it says, if it says it in I'm not gonna get on just always getting it, but Sirach the 10th chapter tells you, as the officers, as the rulers of the city is so the people. So that thing is coming down. So the average person is gonna go out there and eat people. Hey, when even Alex Jones was asked a question, he said, if it's for me and my kids, I'm eating my neighbor. So they already have this cannibalistic mindset, survival. So everything is in motion. Everything's in motion. Matter of fact, hold on. It's coming in my head. Second Ezra 15. 15, and I just want to get to the point. Second Ezra 15 and 53. If thou has not always slain my chosen, who the Lord's chosen, the Israelites, exalted the stroke of thy hands, saying over the dead bodies, when thou was drunken. This whole pride shit that's going on, they're trying to rekindle that old devilish spirit. That's a two-edged sword for you. Man, actually that's all swords against you. You trying to rekindle something that you did towards the Lord's people. And they finding Jake hung, a whole bunch of stuff. Jake is being threatened. They even erased certain slave pictures. So you're doing a number. Esau, this whole administration. So because of these acts, the Lord He's going to visit you for these things. So for set forth thy beauty of thy countenance, the reward of thy whoredom should be in thy bosom. Therefore shall thou receive recompense, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord. Even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Because why everybody can say, you gotta get out the city, you gotta go to the mountains, right? The Lord got them covered. He got them covered. So you are going to eat your own. And as ill as it is, and you already have a lot of monsters out there, they already do things of that nature. But the Lord's gonna get rid of those and force those that thinking that they high and mighty. He's gonna, man, the scripture says the Lord is the king of terrors for a reason. All right. Paul said what it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Lord. Hey, Job said that as well. So somebody may have like, they do certain things. They're already accustomed to certain behaviors, and the Lord's going to do the complete opposite. He's going to bring in your greatest fear. All right. And then some people's greatest fear is the starvation, hunger. And that's what's going to end up happening for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be dying in straight hunger. Okay. Let me go back to this. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, Isaiah 24 and 21, that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So they're not going to be able to enjoy any fruits of their labor. They are going to go down, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. So the true criminals, the statistic, oh, how can 13%, ironic number, by the way, 13% of the United States population is the most violent. Well, 13, the 13 families, all right, that high number are the biggest criminals of the planet Earth, all right, that cause all the evil on this earth. Well, guess what? They're gonna have to pay for their sins. They're gonna have to pay for what they did to the people or what they did to this earth. Okay? They're guilty. They are walking, talking criminals. That's on high. It says, and they shall be shut in prison after many days. Like Apostle Paul was like giving them, we're gonna give them work assignments. Hey, this economy um is faltered, is stalled, is stuck. June, no jobs. Matter of fact, more jobs were lost. July, no job growth. August, no job growth. September, obviously going to be no job growth. All right, people losing jobs. Well, in the kingdom of heaven, you crackers, you devils, you Edomites, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to have plenty of work to do. Okay, like it says Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, you're going to have continued employment. There's not going to be there's not going to be no work. I mean, Salaki, that was saying there's going to be plenty of work to be done in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, in the kingdom of Esau, in the kingdom of hell, people want to work and they can't get jobs, and they're being phased out by AI. Not making people's life better, it's making people's life miserable, worse off. So in the kingdom, expect the opposite. It says, and after many days shall they be visited, giving them work assignments. It's what you got to do. This is what you got to build. Okay, we're gonna throw their asses in pits. When it's that time to come, boom. And there's gonna be no sort of inflation, none of that shit that they doing here. We're gonna be going back to the standard, the gold standard. We're just gonna have gold just to have gold. Okay, these devils. It says, then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, which is their wisdom and knowledge. All right, what they rely on? They rely on the left hand side. Is going to be confounded, and they're going to be ashamed because it's going to lead them to the one thing they're trying to avoid. It says, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and Jerusalem, and before the ancients gloriously, which is going to be the real Israelites. Okay, so they can make all the parodies it is. We right there of all this stuff that's happening. So that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation Israel. Shalom.